so far, Gambia stands a good chance of meeting at least one target in all 8 goals. The recent integrated household survey data suggests that poverty levels has declined to 48% if you use 1.25 US dollar as a threshold, and if you use the more generous one of $1, it has gone down significantly to 37%. In either case, poverty has fallen by nothing less than 21% during 2003 to date. The issue of food security is an issue, and it's also a major target in terms of the poverty goal, and we are not doing very bad. It's within reach by 2015. The main challenges, however, in attaining the MDGs remain with maternal mortality and infant mortality. However, to address this dual problem, we are with a project that will address these 2 dual problems will be a step in the right direction. Then I go on to the financing of the page. The page assumes that private sector will have a very significant role, and this is why, Ambassador, your mission, your team of investors is welcome, and I hope they would conceive projects before they leave this country. The page, like I said, had this public priority action plan, and the priority action plan does the costing of all the individual strategic investments that we are envisaging. And if you net the ongoing projects, the total financing gap will be $650 million, and government has pledged to contribute 35% of this, which is $228 million. And then you have a financing gap which we intend to take to the donor community. And I think this is where Professor Nadisi and others can also help, because the UNECA has been very helpful throughout the preparatory stage, and we just don't want to stop there. We want to engage them in the funding and even in the resource mobilization for the page. You have a financing gap of 423, like I said, and if everything goes well, we will be coming up with resource mobilization to fund this gap. We will want to place on record the support received from His Excellency the President, Chief Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh during this process, the Vice President Aja Aissatou Njie Seydi, who ably steered the the UNDP for both financial and technical support, the UNECA, whose representative, Professor Nadosi, is here with us to launch the page, and other stakeholders who have contributed in one way or another in helping to prepare this page. In particular, I would also want to thank the page team. They've done an excellent job given the time frame that was involved, exactly almost about 1 year. Finally, to conclude, if the page is properly implemented, it will lay a solid foundation for the country to transit from its current status of least developed country to a middle-income country sooner than expected. Thus, the importance attached to implementation, implementation, implementation. Thank you. The next is the statement by Honorable Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Dr. Njoguba. You have the floor.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh, may Allah continue to protect and guide you. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, Ajaratu Dr. Aissatou Njie Seydi, my Lord, the Chief Justice, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, the representative of the Executive Secretary, UNECA, the UNDP resident rep, permanent secretaries, services chiefs, managing directors, and other senior government officials, the Imam of Kanilai, the president of the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council, venerable religious leaders, representatives of the civil society organizations and the NGOs, members of the press, protocol and security, Your Excellency Ambassador Baji and your distinguished delegation from India, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols duly observed. It is with deep sense of pride and honor that I welcome you all today on behalf of the government of the Gambia to this very auspicious occasion of the national launch of the Program for Accelerated Growth and Employment, PAGE 2012 to 2015. Today is indeed a momentous time for this great country and government as we strive to collectively raise our standards and develop this country into a nation where peace, stability, and development abounds. The public service is today more devoted than it ever was in developing this great nation into an economic superpower. The government of the Gambia has been committed to reducing poverty and even eradicating poverty and improving the well-being of its population since designing its first development strategy in 1994, and has continued to embark on key reforms in major sectors with the help of development partners. As public servants, we are fully aware that to successfully implement the Program for Accelerated Growth and Employment, PAGE, and reach the Millennium Development Goals and Vision 2020, we must adopt a comprehensive approach that addresses capacities and pursues reforms in all sectors of society. Some of the key reforms that government has embarked upon that are proving to be game changers in the civil service include the judicial reform, the civil service reforms, and decentralization. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is evident